Hi everyone, and welcome back to another StyleCAD version 12 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to grade a simple pattern within the software as well as create a marker. So the first thing we need to do before we do any kind of grading in the program is making sure that our sizes are set. Now it's really important to make sure that we have our sizing set correctly, because if we adjust our grading settings and we haven't completed our sizing correctly in the first place, then we're going to create a whole lot of problems for ourselves. So you can navigate to the top toolbar and you're going to select size and you'll come down to size edit. This toolbar here will open up, and basically this enables us to load in different sizing charts that have already been preset for us. You can also create your own sizing chart, but I'll show you that in another video. For today, I'm probably just going to go in and we'll do 2 to 14. So you can see, actually this is a menswear block, so you can see at the moment that we've got sizes 34, 36, 38, 40. So I'm not going to change it to 2 to 14 because my size has already been set on this pattern. I forgot it was a menswear pattern, but that's okay. But if you do have a pattern that doesn't have any size parameters set yet, you'll need to select one of these sizings, and then basically you select load to insert that in. And you can select which one is the base size and go from there. Mine is already set at a base size of 38. So I've got a menswear block here. It's a 38 shirt. If I had made a mistake when I imported my pattern or when I block constructed my pattern within the software, I could change it here by selecting maybe it's a 36 and I can press OK. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at 38. Perfect. So before we do any grading, it's really important to make sure that you have a grade plan prepared. I do not have a grade plan on hand because I do a lot of grading and can kind of do it from memory now. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to quickly create a really small grade plan within the program for this particular shirt. Obviously, you don't have to do this if you know how to grade proficiently. Generally, I do my grade plans just on a piece of paper, and I just draw it out really roughly. Obviously, I can't show you the piece of paper that I'm drawing on today, so I'm going to just pull out some guidelines from my rulers to show where I'm going to be grading around these patterns. So first, I will do kind of the vertical axes. So I'm going to pull out a grade line just above the hemline there, and I'll put in a grade line just before the armhole there, and I'll also put another grade line straight through the armhole there. And then in terms of my horizontal axes, I'm going to put one just from the center front, one through the shoulder, and one through the side but not going through the shoulder. And I'll do the exact same for the back as well. Pop him in there and pop that one out there, like so. So you can see now that I've got my grade lines in here. So if we were to manually grade this pattern, I would cut along these lines and I would open them up and basically put in my grading increments within these different grade rules. Now, this video is not to teach you how to grade, so if you're interested in grading and wanted separate videos, I'm more than happy to create videos about grading, but this video is purely to show you how to grade within StyleCAD. You obviously wouldn't have to create a grade plan in StyleCAD. I'm just showing you this so you've got an understanding, just in case someone's looking at this who hasn't graded before. So within Australia, I'm just going to stick to our very standard 5 centimeter grade increment, or it's about 4.8 centimeters, close to it. So that's a little bit outdated now, but I'm just going to use the standard grading increment here in Australia because every company has their own. We don't really have any standard sizing within Australia anymore, and every company has their own grading increments, which they generally keep a secret because that makes the perfect fitting garment, and we don't want to give those secrets away. So I'm just going to use the basic 5 centimeter grade increments here today. So with that in mind, let's do we'll put in some grading increments here. So my first line I'm going to put through will be so this grade line here is around 0.3. I'll put 0.3. This line here is 0.3. And once again, you don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you just because I can. And this one will be 0.6. And this one's going to be 0.3. And this one will be 0.3. So on each pattern piece, the body is growing. So we've got what, 6, 12. So what, 1.2 centimeters is growing outwards for the body. So overall, round of all, that's 4.8 centimeters around the body. So close to 5, not exactly, but close. And then our body, as per standard sizing here in Australia, will grow up each size about 0.9 centimeters. So you can see here, now that I've got my grading increments in, I could easily start to make some grade rules to make it easier for me to create some grading. So generally when I'm doing my grade plan on a piece of paper, I would start with 1 point. So let's say this point down here is going to be my controlled point. So I might even just put a C there to indicate that that's my control point. That's where I'm grading from. And I will grade clockwise around, or I guess you could do anti-clockwise. It's really up to you. Whatever, you feel comfortable in doing. So I'm actually going to lie and I'm going to go anti-clockwise now. So here we can see this point up here. I've passed through 3 of my grade increments. So this one up here would be growing up 0.9 centimeters, but it's not going to grow out because we haven't passed any of these horizontal lines yet. This point here, this grade point, you can see that it's past our 0.9, so 369, so it's going to grow up 9, but it's also past one of our horizontal grade lines, so it'll also need to move out 0.3. So here I'll make it's going out 0.9 centimeters, but it also has to come down 0.3. Like so. So if I was doing this manually, I'd grab my ruler and I would move this point up 0.3 and across 0.3. So I'll just keep going around just so we're quite familiar with what we're doing. So this one here, again, it's going to grow up 0.9 and it's going to go out 0.6. Like so, and I would continue to go around both the front and back like so. So that is kind of what my grade plan would look like. Obviously I'd keep going around and doing the other points, but I don't want to bore anybody out there who already knows how to grade, so I'll create a grading video in a separate video if anybody requests it, but this is purely to show you how to grade in StyleCAD. So when we're grading in StyleCAD, we actually don't need any of our grade plan within the program. We don't need any of the lines. All we need to make sure is that our base size is set, and we need to go into the grading toolbar menu. So in order to do that, you'll come up to your top toolbar, and at the moment we're in our pattern making device. So you can see here that it looks like a little ruler. If I click this, my little grading panel will come up, and I'm now in the grading mode. And you can see that all my toolbars on the left hand side here have now changed to our grading manual. And what I really love about StyleCAD is, and maybe I'll show this a little bit later, if we grade this pattern and then we say, oh no, like we need to make this alteration, you can quickly swap back to kind of the pattern making mode, and it'll take off all the grading and you can adjust your pattern and then switch back into the mode. So it's pretty convenient in that way. So you can see here we've got our grading panel. It's pretty easy, and you'll find that if you've done manual grading that this is going to be, an absolute lifesaver. I remember I did manual grading for quite a few years, and then I got StyleCAD and was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I don't think I've ever manually graded since. So the grading panel's pretty easy to use. You've got this button here in the middle which changes the increment. So we've got 1 millimeter, 0.5 millimeters, 0.1 millimeter, 5 millimeters, and then 1 millimeter again. You can also change them down here, or you can press them by pressing the button. Then you've got these arrows around here, and this grades in the direction of where the arrow is pointing. So remember when I was explaining before that the whole body will go up 0.9? Well, I could select 5 millimeters, and I could select the upwards button to grade the pattern in an upwards direction. You can also kind of type in your X and Y. So if you're more mathematically inclined, you could certainly type in your X and Y axes. I unfortunately am mathematically challenged. So I like to do the more visual area of using the arrows. So I've got my grade plan in front of me. Well, I don't, I'm lying, but I would have my grade plan in front of me and thinking about those lines that we just put in before. So I'm going to grade these patterns here. So with my cursor, you can either select your points individually. So I could select all these points and individually go up, but I know that the whole body has to grow up 0.9 centimeters. So what I'm going to do with my mouse is just click and drag over all 3 of my upwards grading points. Then on my grading panel, at the moment I've got it at 5 millimeters. So I'm going to select my left arrow, which is going to grow the pattern up 5 mil, but I need to grow it up 0.9. So I'm going to change this to 1 mil now, and we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see here, woohoo, how easy it is. You only have to put in the grading increment and it'll automatically do all the other increments for the other sizes. So you can see here, it's graded, and we've got a size 34, 36, our base size is 38, and then we've got a 40 out there. So it grades all sizes just with our 1 grading increment. So it's pretty exciting. Well, I get excited about that. And I could add in more sizes and it would grade more sizes. I'm going to do the exact same for this one over here, because whatever we do to the front has to be done to the back as well. So I'll go 5, and then I'll go back to 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've grown the body up by 9 centimeters, and look how wonderful it does the dot as well. Woohoo! Actually, that's okay. Cool. So now we need to think about the grading increments. We need to grow the body out by 1.2. So I'm going to select over all of these here. Actually, sorry, I lie. I'm going to select over these side seam points here, and we're going to come out 1.5. So it'll come out, that's 1, and then and I'll go back to 1 because we're coming out 1.2. I lied, and I'll do the same to the other side. We're coming out 5, 1, and then 1 millimeter, coming out twice, like so. Perfect. And then now I'm going to grade the rest of this armhole here. So this shoulder up here doesn't actually come out 1.5, it comes out 0.6 because it doesn't pass through that 6 millimeter increment line. So I'm going to grab my 5 and I'm going to go out, and I'm going to go one more, 0.6. Same with this little guy here, 0.5. 0.6, brilliant. And these little points down here as well, I mean, it's up to you when you're grading. I'm just going to come out 0.6 for these guys as well. .5, 0.6. I mean, they could also come up, what are we, 3? They could also come up 0.6 as well. Perfect. And just like that, actually I lied because we haven't done the dart here yet. So this guy here is probably coming up about, what have we got, 0.6. through, and they would also need to come out as well. So this one's probably only gone through the 0.3, so I mean it's probably not even really worth it, but anyways, every millimeter counts, right? So there we go. We've basically just graded that particular shirt pattern into a size 34, 36, 38, 40, and we can continue to grade up and down. But you know, if you made a mistake, for example, if you made mistake, some of these I probably wasn't paying attention in this video that much. I can just press delete, and those grading will be deleted. You can also copy and paste. Say if I deleted this point here, I can copy and paste the exact same grade increment. So I can Command C and I can Command V onto here, and it'll paste the same grading increment to the same point, which is fantastic. The other thing that I guess I could show in here is if you make a mistake, like a pattern making mistake, not a grading mistake, you can go back to the pattern making module. You can adjust the particular pattern. Let's say we thought, oh my God, we've forgotten to add the button wrap. You can grab the line, you can add your button wrap. I'll just go up maybe like 5 centimeters. Oh, anyway, something like that. And then we can go back into the grading module, and you can see it's not that dramatic, but maybe I can go back in and I'll make a more dramatic change so you can see. Say we were like, oh, I don't know why you would ever need to do that, but maybe you needed to make the shirt longer. And if we go back in, you can see that it's automatically kept and retained those grading increments like so, which is fantastic. So that is basically how you use the grading module in StyleCAD. There is a lot more advanced features for grading, which I'll show in like a more comprehensive video. This is just an introduction to the grading panel. So cool. Now that we've graded our patterns, I'm going to save the style by going File, Save Style. And what I'm going to introduce you to now is how you can create a marker for these particular sizes. So let's say that we're going to go to the factory. I'm just going to delete this sleeve piece because I don't need it for now. So let's say we're going to go to the factory, and the factory's asked for a marker, or maybe you're manufacturing in-house and we need to create a marker for the cutters to cut out our beautiful fabric. Okay, now that we've exited out of the pattern making software within StyleCAD, we're going to navigate across over to our marking software, which looks like this icon. Double click and it will open up the StyleCAD marking system. We're going to create a new marker, so we're going to come up to our top toolbar and we're going to select this blank piece of paper. You can also go File, New Marker. Then I'm going to select the pattern. As you can see, hopefully your pattern naming conventions are a little bit better than mine. I'm going to select the last one here, menswear shirt block, and I'm going to select, I'll need a marker ID. So sometimes in factories, this might mean different things for your organization. I'm just going to go 2024, version 1, and I'll press OK. Great, so this will open up our marker entry, and there are a lot of settings on this page, which I will make another video to create a more comprehensive video. But for now, all that we need to know is that at the moment, we've just got one piece of one fabric, so one fabric style. So if you were doing different fabric styles, you'd have to edit that within the pattern making software. So at the moment, we've just got normal, let's say we're making calico sample or white, and we've got this in the self. The width of the fabric, so this is where you would enter in the width of the fabric. At the moment it's at 150, so I'm going to leave that there. And then you've got how many numbers of each size you would like. So let's say I was going to my base size 38, maybe I want 5 cut out of that particular style. 36, let's say, I might not have as many customers, so I might just go 3. 34, I'll do 1, and 40, I'll do 1, like so. You've got some settings up here on your right hand side, whether you want the sewing line or you don't want the sewing line, whether you want to copy pattern annotations, etc. You can also put some plotting remarks up there, the order number, whether you want it in centimeters or millimeters or inches. You can do it for different customers. and you can also do different work orders and things like that. Also on here, you've got some other options down the bottom. So you can do one side of a pair if you're going to have a pair. There's tubular, folded fabric, force a grain line, shrinkage controls, lay directions, and other pattern kind of repeating patterns and things like that. For now, we're just going to keep it very, very simple, and I'm just going to press OK. What that will do, it will now kind of upload or load all the piece of patterns that I need to cut out of my fabric. So you can see here that we've got all the different sizes and different colors up in my top toolbar over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to click and drag over all of these patterns, which will dump them into my marker. Or actually, maybe I'll just do some at a time. So I'm going to select over these. And now within my marker, you can see here that I've got I've got my fabric here, which is 150 centimeters wide, and I'm going to pop these over here. And I'm now going to click and drag to start placing my patterns on the marker. And obviously I want to do this as economically as possible, so making sure that I'm not going to waste any fabric. So I'll keep going, make sure I'm not wasting any fabric. So click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. Again, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. I can probably fit some more down here. And click and drag. Cool, so at the moment we can see down the bottom here of our fabric marker that this is going to take around 3.2 meters of fabric, which is not too bad for that many styles. So we've got our 38s, our 34s, our 36s, which is a front and back. What we don't have here, which I forgot to do, is that we forgot to say that some of these fabrics might be on the fold. But anyways, this was just like a very simple, basic kind of marker that we could create, and then all I would simply do would be press File Save, and I would send that to my plotter, and the marker would come out. We'd put it on a piece of fabric and we'd cut it out. So hopefully this video has been helpful to show you how to grade patterns and make markers within StyleCAD. I'm happy to make more videos, just put in more requests, and I will see you in another tutorial.